Visa misconception number 3. You need travel history to get approved for your US visa. I've heard and I've seen a lot of people who send messages and they're like, Alfred, I want to travel, I want to go for my visa interview, but I don't have any travel history. Will that affect me? About 90% of the people we talk to, we coach who go for visa interview have never traveled before. So not having a travel history will not necessarily mean that your visa will be denied. Now, sometimes, depending on the kind of story you take to the embassy, who you are, if you don't have a travel history, that can go against you. Let me give you an example. You went for the interview stating that you are into real estate, you're a businessman, you have a lot of money as a businessman, and you have been very successful as a businessman. The visa officer asks you, have you traveled outside? And you're like, no. Sometimes the status you present to the visa officer would demand that kind of weird response. Like, what? Most successful businessmen and women in Africa love to travel, at least Dubai, at least somewhere for vacation, for a visit. Like, most people who have money in Africa easily travel because in Africa, traveling is prestigious, right? So if you are in that state and you have not traveled, it sent a signal. When I went for my first visa, my second visa interview actually, the visa officer asked me a question, what do I do? I said, I am the national president of Representative of Ghana Youth. I'm in charge of youth missions and overseas work. Like, look at the position I gave to myself. Very big. So we sort of say, okay, overseas work. Wow. So have you traveled outside before? So here I brought myself. My response demanded that the work I do should let me travel. So because I had traveled, it became an advantage. Say, yes, I've been to Switzerland, Germany for youth work and for conferences and workshop presentation. I was like, oh, that's good. Then he checked my passport and he saw everything in it. So what I'm saying is that sometimes it depends on your situation. If you have not traveled, it doesn't mean your visa will be denied. But sometimes if you have traveled, it is a cause for the visa officer to approve or deny your visa because of your travel history or not. It depends on the story you present, okay?